Hi everybody, welcome to our last video of the year, which introduces new material. There will be a series of videos on the review chapters, but none that will present, no more that present new material. So this is section 12.5 and the homework is number 49. So you should have the following in front of you: the notes for 12.5, obviously the video, homework number 49, and your theorem and vocabulary sheets. You could also have 12.3 in front of you, because we're going to go back and make modifications to that table in 12.3, just like we did in the last video for 12.4. Okay. So again, in sections 12.2 and 12.3, we learned how to find surface area of those four solids: prisms, cylinders, pyramids, and cones. In 12.4, we learned how to find the volume, okay, of, prisms and cylinders. Okay, now in this last video, we're going to learn to find the volume of pyramids and cones. So for these four figures, you will know and are expected to know surface area and volume and how to work with those equations and formulas. Okay. So here are the equations for the volume of a pyramid and a cone. Again, they look very familiar. And the volume of a pyramid, remember, the volume is where, say we were going to pour as much water as we could into a pyramid. How much water could we put in? And that's what the volume is. Okay, and the formula is 1/3 times the area of the base, and the h is the height. Notice this is not the slant height that we used for surface area. This over here was that little L, that slant height, okay? But for volume, that's not what we're going to use. We actually used the height from the middle of the base up to the very top of the pyramid. That's the one we're going to use. So you got to be careful and know which height you're going to use. Okay. For volume of a cone, very similar to cylinder in that you have volume equals 1/3 the area of the base times the height. But because the base is a circle, okay, its area is equal to pi r squared, and then we have our h. And just like the pyramid above, the h that we're using is this vertical height from the base to the highest point of the cone. You are not using the slant height, this height. Okay, don't use that for volume. You will use it for surface area, but not for volume. So make sure you get that clear in your mind. Okay. So let's go ahead. This is the 12.3 slide that we've kind of been working on. Come on. Okay. So we're going to put our volume here so you have it when you go to do your homework and the quiz and the final. Okay, the volume is 1/3 BH, and the volume is 1/3 BH is equal to 1/3 pi r squared h. That's an r. Okay. Okay, so let's go forth and use these guys. So here are some worked out problems. Okay, find the volume of this solid. Okay, first of all, what is it? It is a pyramid. Okay, so we use our formula 1/3 the base times the height. Okay, here's our 1/3. And our base is a triangle. Okay. And the base of the triangle is 4 meters. The height is the 6 meters. So 1/2 the base times the height is the formula for the area of a triangle. Okay, so 1/2 base times height, 1/2 4 times 6 times the height of the pyramid. So that's that guy right there, and he's 9. So here's my h. Okay, so 1/2 times 4 times 6 times 9, and do the math, and the answer is 36 meters squared. So that's the volume of this pyramid. So if I filled this pyramid with water, it would take 36 meters cubed of water. It's a lot of water. Okay, so I'm going to erase this because I don't want to confuse it. So now, let's look at B. So B is a cone, but it's slanted off at this angle, right? It's not vertical. So what do? Well, same thing that we did for the triangles that were not on a, we're not right triangles. Remember what we did is we elongated the base to where it was the highest point, and then we took our h right there. So it's the same case where the h is the vertical line from the base to the highest point. Don't try to take the base here because it'll be too short. Okay, so the height is going to be this line right here. Okay, which in this case is 4.5 centimeters. Okay, clean up some of this stuff. Okay, so 1/3 base times height is our formula because our base is a circle. Okay, it's 1/3 pi r squared h. We know what our h is. It's 4.5. Our radius is given, 2.2. Remember, so it's pi 2.2 squared. We do the math on that, and we come up with 7.26 pi. And do more math, and you get approximately 22.81 centimeters cubed. Okay. So the only tricky part here is that you're not looking at the height in the middle of the base. You're having to look at it on the side here because the whole cone is slanted. Okay, and that should be familiar from working with triangles. Okay, so one thing I need to go over with you, certainly before we get to the final, is how to do these composite solids. So these are called composite solids. Composite meaning it's more than one solid connected together. Okay, so you may be asked. You could be asked for the surface area. You could be asked for the volume. Okay, whatever it is. The basic idea is that you have two solids here. You have a prism right here, and then you have a cube or a rectangular prism right here. Okay, so there's no way you can just look at this and calculate the whole thing at once. You have to take them apart. And so the way you do that is you look at the volume of the solid. The whole thing is equal to the volume of the cube plus the volume of the pyramid. And that kind of makes sense, right? You're going to take the volume of one, add it to the volume of the other. So in this case, let's write our formulas. So because this is a cube, all its sides are equal. All we do is just multiply together the two sides, and we come up with s cubed. Okay, if you want to put that in terms of a regular prism, remember our volume is base times height, so we have the base of the cube is 6 times 6, and then you multiply that by the height, okay, and you come up with 6 cubed, which is right here. And then we're going to look at the volume of the pyramid, and remember the volume of the pyramid is 1/3 base times height. So 6 cubed is 216, 1/3 times 6 squared, this is the base, and this is the height, is 6. Okay, comes up with 216. Okay. So, okay, just to reiterate here, here's the pyramid. Okay, here's the prism, the rectangular prism. So here's the prism, and here's the pyramid. So we add them together, and the volume of the whole thing is 288 cubic meters. Okay? And that's it. So you should be able to answer the questions on the homework. If you have any more questions, please make sure to ask in class. And good luck.